Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do a QR code story using QR codes, Canva, Google Drive, Google Drawings, screenshotting and Paint, all sorts of things to create this awesome QR code story that you'll be able to print off, stick around your school, and it'll be a really engaging activity for your students to do and have a go at completing the kind of treasure hunt QR code story by actually moving around the school, using an iPad to scan codes and reading and finding out more clues and having to search for them so that they can then do this themselves. Had a go at it this year and it worked pretty well. So I want to share it with you and we're going to get straight into it. So the first thing that you need to do is actually write a story about something. I would recommend that you be really clear in your instructions if you're doing this to kids and make sure that they're only writing 3 to 5 chapters of some sort of a narrative story and making them only being 3. So if you're doing 3 chapters, that are only 3 paragraphs. The shorter the better. So what you want to do on Canva is you're going to create a front cover. You're going to use some Google images to upload into that as well to make the story a little bit more engaging when you're looking at it. And then you're going to paste the text from the story that you've written into Canva. So I've already written the story. I use Google Docs for that. And then I've got on Canva, I've logged onto Canva, which is really an awesome program for creating graphic designs and whatnot. And I have created this. I'm just going to take that QR code out there because you won't have the QR codes to begin with. So I found different images and things that I uploaded. So I've got my text there. I found an illustration. If you go to Elements, there'll be an illustration box up here, which you can find cool things to put into the background. Change the text, change the backgrounds. There are some awesome backgrounds that you actually have to pay for, but there's heaps of cool free ones as well. So that was chapter 1. Chapter 2 doesn't have a QR code at the moment. This is what it looks like when it's finished. You can see I've added in a picture there that I just got off Google of like paint dripping down a wall. We've got another one of like a footprint, and it goes all the way down until they find the person they're looking for. So the whole idea of my story was that there was someone called a pretender, which is like a bad guy, and my students needed to hunt down and apprehend that pretender. So what each chapter needs to also has is if you come down here, the last sentence will give a clue about where they need to go to find the next part of the QR code story. So my students began in the ICT lab. They scanned the first one, which was on here, and it took them to this chapter 1 here. So after they read that on their iPad, they knew that they had to go to the art room. So all the kids raced off to the art room once they found that, searching around for the next poster that had the QR code on, which was this one here, number 2. So fantastic work, you found the second clue. They scan the code and then it brings them up to the next chapter, which also says it's leading me to the office. Now, a mistake I made was they ran straight into the office when the poster was actually outside the office. So they had huge interruptions and made a big pain. So make sure you be crystal clear with your instructions. All right, so you've added all that in, it's all done. You won't have the QR code, so yours will look like this once you've done it. The QR code comes a little bit later. So the next step after doing that to Canva is to download it as a JPEG and then go to Google Drawings. So let's have a look. If we download up here, go to the download section, you want to change that to JPEG and download it. Download it all here, it will come up in this section down here, and if you go to your folders, the folder where it's saved, I made a new folder of where it's being housed, so everything will end up in here. That would come up with all these chapters here, which I'm going to then use on my Google Drive. So on Google Drive, there's this real neat thing called Google Drawings. So if you go to New up here, down the bottom, almost hidden away, you've got Google Drawings. When you're in Google Drawings, what you need to do is you've got to get that image of the chapter that you want the kids to look at when they scan the code. So the easiest way to do that is to actually open it up from your folder, wherever that is. So open up chapter 1, and then you're going to press print screen. So control print screen, and then go to Google Drawings, and you just control paste that straight into the Google Drawings. You then crop it, reshape it so that it ends up being the size of what this is here. Then what you need to do is go File, Publish to the Web, and mine's already published, but you just click down there. And you need to do that for each of your 5 chapters. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So once you've done that, we download as a JPEG, Google Drawings, we've got separate files. We need to get the QR code extension. So you can get that from the Chrome Web Store. Just pop it up in Google, and then you're going to look for the QR code extension, and it is this one down here. So the red one, you just need to add it to your Chrome browser and it will appear up here as this icon. So once you've got your chapter ready, you're going to make a QR code. You just press that, makes the QR code like so. You're going to print screen it, and then you go to Paint, paste it into Paint, and then you need to crop just the QR code and save that as your chapter. And you need to be really clear when you save it. Give it a name so you know what it is when you're inserting it into Canva. All right, so you do that 5 times for each of your chapters. Then, after you have done that, we screenshot the QR codes. We're going to upload it into Canva, and then we're going to save it as a PDF. So, when we were here before, I had the QR code in already, but I don't have it now as I'm showing you. So what I would strongly suggest to do here is to upload the QR codes one at a time. So I made the mistake of going into looking for the QR codes, and what happened was when I uploaded them all together, I forgot which one was which. So you can see here they're all labeled like this, but when you upload them into Canva, they come up like that and you can't see what they're called. So do it one at a time. When it's uploaded, you can then drag it across in here, reshape that so you've got the QR code ready to go, as good as gold. I'll just make sure mine goes back in. All right. So then once you've done that for all of your story, you should have a QR code in every section. You can then download it as a PDF. Now, you only need to download the pages that you haven't got with the QR code. In this case, it's all these ones. So you then download it. It comes down up here. And then when you've got your canteen, mine's called the Canteen Catastrophe. So it comes up as a PDF, which looks like this. And now we've got the QR codes in there and we can print it off and we're ready to go. So what I do is print it all off in color. It looks awesome. Laminate all the codes. So there's only 5 pages that I really need to laminate. And then the rest are going to all be online for the kids to do when they're scanning codes. So you then put it around the school, tell the kids what's going on, and just watch them go for it. And it is seriously really awesome. They were super engaged. Like once they realised what was going on and that there were clues and stuff happening, they just were running around madly and causing heaps of havoc around the school. But they loved it, and then they had a go at it themselves. Some students found it a little bit tricky, more so than others, but the ones that got right into it, some of their work was amazing. Like the posters that they were creating on Canva, the front covers were awesome. And it just looks really cool too. Like they can say that they're authors and they've got a published story as well. Yeah, it's real simple to find cool photos online that you can just copy and paste in. So give it a go, see how you go. If you've got any questions at all, feel free to email me. I hope that makes sense. Good luck.